I'm just going to do an interview here over the Zoom with Kurt Rager. Kurt is a longtime member of All Saints. He grew up here. He's been away in various places and is back now and is working as the Director of Lutheran Advocacy Ministry, New Mexico. So hello, Kurt. You can unmute your mic.
Sorry, I forgot to do that.
That's all right. So I want to ask you first, what are some of the things you're grateful for in the midst of this crazy year?
Well, I guess I'll talk from a stewardship perspective mainly, but I have to preface this by saying that first, I'm incredibly grateful for my parents who modeled in their lives this very, I think, healthy understanding of stewardship and the way they lived their lives and the way they donated of their resources to not just the church, but also to the community. And I remember as a young kid, very young kid, seeing my dad's offering envelope on his desk on Saturday as he was, ready for going to church on Sunday morning. And as young kids, we were given our little offering envelopes and how important I felt it was and how much joy that gave me to be able to do that each Sunday morning in Sunday school. And so I'm very thankful for the example that they set and appreciative of that. But I think from a church's standpoint, I've thought about this for a couple of days when you posed the questions to me. And I think first, probably the most important thing that I'm grateful for at All Saints is the fact that it has always been, and it was for me from the time we joined and when I was in probably second grade, it was a place that was full of very accepting mentors. And I was thinking last night about the names of some of these folks from when I was, second, third grade up through high school and college that were really important in sharing their faith stories with me, and people like the Adlers and the Bates and the Obels and Lanicolian and the Randalls and the Tricks and the Sattlers and the Swansons, and the list can go on and on, including people who were on the Zoom this morning, the people who welcomed me as a child and as a young person, as a young adult, who knew me by my name, who missed me when I wasn't there, and who, most importantly, who are willing to share their faith stories with me, including their stories about their attitudes towards money and stewardship. I don't know why I always remember this, but one of the stories that I hold on to, I heard in a small group setting one year when we did these little coffee stewardship study around for like 5 weeks. And, we all broke into people's homes. And I remember hearing the story from Hope Bates that when they were young, married, and they had 2 or 3 catastrophes in their lives where they literally lost everything. And yet in the midst of losing all that they had, they were on a farm, that they continued to give and to believe that was the first act that they did each month. And that by doing that and having that faith, somehow things were always provided for them. They always survived those situations. And I remember hearing that as a young adult, and that's played an important role in my thinking about stewardship since then, that regardless of what's happening in my life, that's an important step to take each month, each year, each chapter of my life, that giving is first. And so they helped me develop this attitude that that all I have God gives to me in one hand, and that on this vessel that I can give away with my other hand of not only my financial resources, but also my talents. And so I think that's probably the most important thing that I'm grateful for All Saints. And that's simply that I know that I was loved and I was valued and that I was forgiven when I fell short. And all of these faith stories that really made me or keep a part in making me who I am today in many respects.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you sharing that witness. Was there any more that you wanted to offer, or is that?
Well, I think we were sort of talking about that other question too.
Yeah,
that I think is really important, and what's special and unique about All Saints. And again, this I think goes back to my very early days in the congregation, and from that time forward, that there was always And I remember, can remember when the shift was sort of made from this attitude that we take care of ourselves first to opening ourselves up and giving away of ourselves first. And then when that happens, that things naturally happen for us as well. And so this emphasis and priority on connecting I think connecting us to not just what's happening within the church, but more importantly, what's happening outside of our walls. That the congregation has always been very good at looking for needs in the community, for being open to new ways to serve in the community, to challenging me and its members to engage not only our time and our talents, but also, well, I guess engaging ourselves into the community beyond that. That it was not only important within the church, but also that we're, as a community of faith, we're active and about in the community as well. And I think the second thing, and I think through all of that, the congregation over the years connected me to youth events outside the church, to the synodical events, to campus ministry. When I was in college, I was connected to what was called Lutheran Office of Governmental Ministry back in the day. It just started. And so we were engaged in advocacy in Santa Fe. And that was my first really opportunity to see that not only do we give of our time and of our resources, but also we have a responsibility as a community of faith to advocate for systemic change in our government. And I think the second thing that I think is special and unique about All Saints is its strength of lay leadership. And this goes back for years. I mean, in high school, I served on council as a youth rep, and I wasn't just a token member of council. We were voting members of council. And so from a very early age, the young people were brought into the leadership of the congregation, and their ideas were valued. And I think over the years, we've had pastors that were very good about nurturing that attitude that this is our congregation, our ministry, and we have a responsibility to lead it. And so I appreciate the fact that I was invited as a young person into leadership, and that leadership was nurtured and valued. And I think that's what helped our congregation weather a lot of challenges over the years. You know, we've had cycles like everybody else, but I think in our darkest times, that lay leadership and that talent that we have in the congregation has really helped us weather those kinds of things. And so I think just this emphasis and priority on connecting to the community and recognizing as a congregation, there's a much broader church out there locally and synodically and in the world, and that it finds ways to connect us to that. So I'm very grateful for, as I said earlier, that All Saints has made me who it's in very key roles, made me who I am today. And I do try and live my life as a grateful response to what this community of faith has given to me. And I feel a sense of responsibility for all of these saints that I mentioned before, who were key in my faith development and my faith life. I feel a responsibility in providing that to those around me in the community and in All Saints today. So I think that's kind of it.
Thank you, Kurt. And we're glad that you are back in Albuquerque and back here with us at All Saints.